Socialism, for at least the last 150 to 200 years, has been, in a way, the other of capitalism, the critique of capitalism, the alternative to capitalism. And that's kind of interesting because you'd think that the alternative to the name of a system, like capitalism, would be the name of another system, but that's not really how it started. Socialism wasn't the name of a system because for most of its history, there wasn't a system to attach it to. It was a critique of capitalism. It was a way of thinking about capitalism that was supported by, endorsed by people who were critical of capitalism, didn't like it, who basically thought we could do better as a human race than capitalism, and called this critical approach to capitalism socialism. But why did they? You may be interested to know it's because capitalism was connected in people's mind with something called individualism. The notion that what was unique about this new system that comes into existence around the time of the French and American revolutions and takes over the world in the period since, that this new system was fundamentally different from the systems, the big systems that had preceded it. Slavery on the one hand, feudalism on the other. In those systems, whoever you were born to determined your role in life. You weren't free in the sense that that word came to have meaning. If you were born to a slave, ipso facto, you were a slave. If you were born a master, ipso facto, you weren't a slave. You were destined to become a master too. And ditto with serf and lord. With capitalism, however, you were born and it was kind of open. You could become an employer, you could become an employee. You weren't necessarily one or the other. If you were born to a worker, it didn't mean you couldn't be an employer, and vice versa. So there was this notion that in capitalism, everything was about the individual. Everything that happened to you was a result of whatever you could achieve, whatever you undertook. And that was really different from being born into a society where the person you were born to determined your fixed place in a system. So capitalism prided itself, as it still does, on its individualism. And the critics got the name socialists. Why? Because they said that it was a mirage, this notion of individual freedom, that we were still not only shaped by the communities in which we grew up, but that it was important, if we were going to hold our societies together, to be just as concerned about how the society works as we are about how each individual functions. Because if a society is all focused about individuals, this argument went, it'll blow apart with the struggle of all the different egos.